our story begins with a prankster, a man named Theodore Hook. He was an Englishman who was apparently a man of letters and also a composer. He also received the first ever postcard, which is neat, I guess. He was also a renowned practical jokester, a bit of a jester, if you will. One day he says to his friend Simon Beasley, "Hey, I bet I could transform any house in London to the most talked about address in a week." Why exactly he said this, or the context behind this conversation, is lost to time, but it did give us one of the most bizarre pranks in history, so who really cares? The unfortunate person who was on the receiving end of this prank, seemingly picked randomly, was Mrs. Tottingham. A lot of reports say she was Mrs. Tottenham, not Tottingham, but no, there's this article about a woman named Miss Tottingham dying on the same street as the prank took place, and I'm pretty sure it was her. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into the prank itself. On November 27th, 1810, in the early hours of the morning, a chimney sweep arrived at Miss Tottingham's residence, 54 Berners Street. The maid who answered the door pretty much said, "We don't need our chimney cleaned, so see you later." The sweep left, and then a few moments later, another chimney sweep knocked at the door. The maid once again sent him away, only to have another chimney sweep arrive just moments later. This cycle repeated again 10 times, with a total of 12 chimney sweeps, all hellbent on cleaning the chimney of this one house. Just when the maid thought this was a simple mistake and the worst of it was over, she heard a noise that sounded suspiciously like a fleet of carts barreling down the street. That's because it was indeed a fleet of carts barreling down the street. They stopped at Mrs. Tottingham's house, all carrying a substantial delivery of coal, which again, they didn't order or really need. They once again sent these carts away, only for the carts to be replaced by a visit from a series of cake makers. The cake makers, surprise, had several large wedding cakes. Like, what are you even supposed to do in this situation? There's all these people coming to your house for no reason, and now you have a bunch of wedding cakes at your disposal. Not only this, but soon after, lawyers, doctors, vicars, and priests all came to the house after they were told that someone in the house was about to kick the bucket, which again wasn't true, but nice of them to visit, I guess. After this, fishmongers, shoemakers, and over a dozen pianos appeared at the house, along with, and I quote, 6 stout men bearing an organ. I don't even know how they managed to carry an organ into the house, even with 6 people. Organs are fucking massive. To make matters even more ridiculous, the Governor of the Bank of England, the Duke of York, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Lord Mayor of London also arrived at the house. Listen, I understand that getting all the people before these big names was probably easy. You just send out letters requesting fish or coal or organs or whatever, but the Mayor of London? What on earth do you even say to him to make him visit just some random house? It's just absurd. Like, this guy use a fucking Jedi mind trick or some shit? This is pretty much a step down from seeing Joe Biden on your Ring doorbell camera. After these guys visited, the street became very, very congested with tradesmen and onlookers. The deliveries and visits from various people just kept happening until the early evening, eventually bringing a large part of London to a complete standstill. The perpetrator, Hook, and his friend on the other hand, were just stationed on the other side of the street, watching the chaos unfold all day long. And the best part? Nobody ever caught him. That's right, there was an actual bounty out for his arrest because this was a criminal offense, and they just didn't find him because, you know, it's 1810. How did people find any crimes back in the day? You can't, like, take a picture or, like, call someone. So yeah, nobody even knew about this. And Hook, he just got like a pint of beer at the end. That was his big reward, which actually would cost like £84 in today's money. That is $106 US. So yeah, he got away with it scot-free, and also with some beer. So happy ending, I guess. And that was the end of the Berners Street hoax, which I consider to be one of the best pranks in history. If you've got any other hoaxes or pranks that you think are pretty funny, let us know in the comments down below, if you want. If anyone's even watching this fucking video, let's be honest. Well, that's gonna be all for today. And as always, thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.